Welcome to the Westeros Media Podcast, Lessons from the Ashes. We are here to tell the Phoenix Rising stories, coming up from the ashes to build businesses, to build personal brands, to parent, coming out, all of it. The stories of those who came from nothing and did great things. We all have a Phoenix Rising story, and I can't wait to hear yours. Join me every week for new podcast episodes. And of course, make sure you follow the show so that you never miss an episode. See you soon. Hi, welcome back to Lessons from the Ashes, a Westeros Media podcast. I'm super excited today to have Casey with me. Casey and I are going to be meeting up in real life at the most amazing event coming up at the end of September, which we're going to tell you about at the end of the podcast. Don't you worry. But Casey, welcome. Thank you. Please introduce yourself and tell us what it is that you do.
Well, thank you for having me on the show. First, I'm so excited. I always see the reels and stuff pop up. I'm like, that's a vibe. I would love to have a conversation. So I'm excited that we get to be here today. I'm so freaking excited to get to meet you in real life at the end of the month at the As She Rises conference. It is going to be such a vibe, and I could not imagine anybody else capturing all of the magic that is going to be that event than you and all of your gifts and talents. And it's so special. And it was funny when we, first started talking about this event, I was like, there's nobody else that we want to do the media but this person. So I'm really grateful, and I'm really excited to get to work with you on an artistry level. I think it's going to be really cool. So who am I? This is such a funny question. And I think so much of your audience will also resonate when I say it's always a really tough question, because I feel like I have gone through more death and rebirth in the last 10, 15 years of my life than one person, most people will have in their whole lifetime. So fitting my identity that I know could change by tomorrow into a box always feels funny. And also so multidimensional and multifaceted. Like I am all the things, right? I'm a jack of all trades in the coaching and mentoring industry. So, to sum it up, what do I do? Hi, my name is Casey Villard. I am a spiritual business and energy alchemy coach. I feel like that's a title that I've had for a couple of years now, and I've kind of outgrown it, but that's okay. We'll go with it anyways. But I really love to teach people how to step unapologetically into their self-expression and their truth and their power and their gifts, and begin to monetize those gifts online and build a thriving, exciting, juicy, multiple seven-figure business around those gifts and your vision and your perspective. And then I also work in the healing realm. So I work with neurosomatic therapy and Kundalini and a lot of body work and listening to the language that our body speaks and the way that those things hold us back in business. So both sides of it, I get to help people build beautiful, thriving businesses from their gifts, but I also help them alchemize and truly heal what holds them back. And it has been such a rad journey building out this business. Yeah.
All right. So the question I ask every single person who comes on the pod is, what is your Phoenix Rising story? And I know everybody has so many. I would love you to tell us one of them.
Yeah. And I do feel like I have so many, and I feel like each part of my life has its own really special, what feels to me like huge pivotal moments, where everything changes and you've got hard decisions that you have to make in those moments in order to really do it. And it was funny when you first asked me that before we popped on here, I was like, oh God, what story am I going to tell? Because I truly feel like I've lived 10 lifetimes in this lifetime already. And so entrepreneurship is always one of those catalysts for those Phoenix rising moments, because we have to let go of everything that we thought we were to chase a vision of who we are becoming and what we are capable of. And it's not easy. And often the odds are always stacked against us in some way or another. So although I have many of those stories throughout my entrepreneurial journey, I've been in the business and marketing industry for 10 years, which is so crazy. And I built a very successful, multiple 7-figure business in the health industry prior to coming over into the coaching industry. But I really built that business from a place of hustle and chasing accolades. And I always say, like, my story that began that business was that my back was against the wall and I had no other choice but to build a successful business, and I had to do it quickly. And so when our back is against the wall in that kind of way, it's not that we do unethical things, but we do things that we know damn well we're not going to want to do long term, because it doesn't feel good in our body, because it is exhausting, because sometimes it's a little bit out of character, and it's fine. So I built that business from that place. Like, I had $20 to my name and a brand new baby living in a mold infested condo. And I looked at her and was like, I promise I will do things differently to turn this life around. And so that's what I did. In a couple of years, I built a multiple 7-figure business in the health industry, also teaching, women how to build businesses in the health industry. But when we get that whisper that says you are made for more, there's more to it. There's more to it than this. It's something that we cannot ignore. But I did ignore it because on paper, everything was great. I had the house, I was speaking on stages, I had the accolades, I had the, everything that we strive so hard to achieve. And it felt empty. It felt empty. It was like I achieved those things and went, really? Is that it? Like, is this as far as it goes? Like, I'm really like, I sacrificed everything to get here, and it feels like that. So little bit of disappointment, a whole lot of emptiness, and a whole bunch of, there's got to be more to it than this. And I know this is not where the story ends. And so I remember 4 years ago sitting on the couch with my husband. And at the time I was struggling with such severe postpartum anxiety, like debilitating. I could not get out of bed most days. And for someone who is driven like I am, and I love to be busy and I love to have my hands dirty in business, for me to be completely shutting down, I knew that something was off. And so that was a universe's sign that, hey, something is out of alignment here and you need to look at it. And you've been avoiding it for a really long time. And so for some of us, that shows up as burnout or exhaustion, or, the loss of a relationship or whatever it is. It triggers these, Phoenix rising moments. And so for me, it was that postpartum anxiety, and I had to take a look at my life as a whole. And I went really deep into my own healing and renegotiating my beliefs around worthiness and success and what it means to create a big, beautiful vision in this lifetime. And so through that alchemical process, there was a lot of shedding and letting go. And one of the pieces was that really successful business so that I could do it differently. And through that, show other people how they can also build their business radically different. And so that's been the pursuit over the last 4 years, is now building As She Rises, the legacy, the brand, the movement, the community that has come along with it, teaching people how to build businesses, but not at the expense of your health or your nervous system or your happiness or your family or your values. It's values first business and what that means. And so sitting on that couch 4 years ago, looking at my husband, and I said, I think I want to leave this business and I want to start something completely different. And I think it's like spiritual business mentorship. And he was like, okay, he's always been my biggest support system. But at the same time, you could tell by the look on his face, like, I knew that it was bad, but I didn't think that it was this bad. Like, this is really bad. She's lost her shit. Okay. So, through that support, and I I had to decide in that moment that there was no other option, and that I would do whatever it took for as long as it took to walk away from good to pursue what is great. And I think that is one of the hardest things that we can do as an entrepreneur is, build something from our heart for a period of time and then go, this is not it, and be willing to burn it to the ground to pursue the unknown. But that is truly where the magic happens and the real success lies. So it's such a trip, and I'm excited to tell everybody that I survived to sit here and talk about it today.
Oh, that is amazing because there's so many people, and like it's so easy to get into like the hustly, oh, just more, and like, like the whole girl boss thing has gone like completely sideways, and it makes my stomach turn. And I've done a very similar thing where I was like pushing and pushing, and I was like, I need this and I need this and I need this, and then I was like, I couldn't do it. My body shut down, my life shut down, and I was like, I have to get out of this toxic thing. And then basically kind of start again. And it's terrifying, but I'm so glad that you're here saying you're on the other side of it and it was worth it, because I think there's like, I feel like there's like a million people standing on the edge of this cliff right now being like, this isn't working. What do I do? Or like they're climbing this ladder and like, what if I just let go? What would happen? Where would I fall? And I freaking love that. And I love the way that you, like grow your community. I've noticed this since the beginning, right? Like when we started talking, I was like, well, I'm going to like dig in and snoop around a bit, see what this chick is all about. And I just love how you build your community. It's so opposite of this whole, you have to deserve my attention weirdness. And I love it. It's like, it's so every single, like, I've like joined a bunch of your little like things, to get the vibe. And then I'm like, every single person in these groups is like really like heart led, and they're very open. And I've like made so many connections by just like, being around on your page. And I'm super excited because we need to talk about the event that you're hosting, because it just seems like, and I know you're going to tell me how you did this, but somehow it feels like 1000% different, like a different temperature, a different feeling, a different everything than all the other people I followed online. And I follow a lot of people online, and I've worked with a lot of people, and a lot of people who make a shit ton of money, right? But it's like, it's so different. Can you tell me about that part?
Yeah. Oh, thank you for that reflection. That's so beautiful. And I'm like taking that all in, because that's really what means the most to me. And it was really funny. I was talking to my mentor, who's teaching me all about stage energetics, and it's called Spotlight Energetics. And she's like, so what are you going to sell from stage? Like, let's talk about the program. And I was like, I'm not selling from stage. She was like, you're not selling at your events? I said, no, it's not about that. It is not about that for me. It has always been about building and fortifying a community. And if I can give any entrepreneur in this time, I mean, things change so fast, right? The algorithms are changing, the way we do business is changing, and how we did things 3 years ago to make a lot of money in the industry, it's not working anymore. Like, it's deafening. And it's almost like, I don't know about you, but I've gotten to the point where I see a lot of those tactics online, and it feels like bugs get right underneath of my skin. And I'm like, are we still doing that? Like, not do that. I feel as though, the era of the guru is really falling, and now we're coming into an era of we. There's no more I, it is we. And so if you have a business, your strongest asset right now is building community. So in order to build community, how do we build a community, and how have I done it? Number one, what is the thing that you stand for most in your vision? Your vision is not you. The mission is not you. You are the catalyst. You are the one that executes. You're the one that is, blazing the trail, and you have the machete and you're leading everybody else. But the vision and the mission is so much bigger than that. So what is it? What is the thing that you stand for? When you think about your work that you do, who are you doing it with, and what is the purpose that you are doing it for? Long-term game. What is the vision that you see? And when we build community, all it is talking about that vision and bringing everyone in to have that like-minded vision. So this might be one topic. This might be one problem where we're not focusing on the problem, we're focusing on the solution to the problem. It might be something that you really stand for, a strong value, a strong belief in your life or your business, or a perspective that you have, or it might be something that you really stand against. And you want to stand up for something and speak your truth, and other people buy into that vision. So that's number one. Get really, really clear on what is the movement that you are creating. For me, when I created the As She Rises movement, what I seen was, like you said, a whole bunch of women who had the belief, they had the vision, they had the excitement, they had the drive, they want to build thriving businesses and a big, beautiful life, but they felt disconnected, they felt separate, they felt less than, they felt like, I'm watching everybody else online, when is my big moment going to happen? Where is my community of people who look like me, talk like me, feel like me, move like me? Like, I wanted to create an environment where you get to be in your self-power, your self-expression, your truth. And because you feel safe in your own way of doing it, you can look at another woman who is in her power, in her truth, and it doesn't make you feel triggered. It doesn't make you feel less than. It doesn't feel like competition. When we come together and we do it, we can go so much further, so much faster. Right. And I seen that for our industry, and I yearn for that for our industry. So that was the As She Rises movement. Now, everything that I've ever created in my business has been through the lens of community. So we go together. Even when I'm teaching, even when I'm mentoring, even when I'm creating programs, we go together. So if I have gone through something and I teach you how to do it, I'm not going to talk down to you and try and explain to you how to do it. I'm going to say, let's do this together. How does that feel for you? What does that look like for you? What do you want? Let me help you get there. And so everything that I've ever built out has been through that lens. And it's really so exciting and mind-blowing what has been created in the As She Rises world in the last 4 years. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you can definitely see it. And you did a post the other day where you were talking about your students' wins. And I was like, oh my God, like that's the shit. Like, I love that. I love that you're like, it's not about me. It's about like all the trickle down, like all of the network. Like, if you ever watched that movie, Fantastic Fungi, like the whole mycelium network, that's how I feel like it is. Because like, there's so many people that I've met just through like your, like even like the free programs just on your page when you're announcing people for the event, that I'm like, oh, they're good shit. And like every single one has been top-notch good shit. And it's so cool. And I love how you're doing that and how you're positioning the whole thing. And it seems like, yeah, like everything that's coming out of it is like so like, it's like wholesome. It's like a big juicy peach. Like it's all the things, right? It's like not like, oh, you got a little bit of this, but you have to pay extra for that. And like, it's the whole thing. And I freaking love that. So now we have to talk about the event, because I know from experience that live events are like the best thing in the world. And they're also incredibly difficult to pull off. And I'm very, very excited about this one. And I've been already planning outfits, obviously. So what on earth inspired you to get hundreds of amazing women into one place and everybody dressing up? Tell me what started this.
It's so funny. I've been asked this like probably 4 times in the last week, including by my own dad, who came over the other day, and he was like, what possessed you to want to do something like this? And I was like, I don't know. And my mom said to him, well, when she was little and I would ask her, Casey, what do you want to be when you grow up? She would say, I just want to throw parties. So I'm living my childhood dream of just wanting to party. And it's going to be amazing. But the As She Rises conference really came to life when I said, I love this community that I have, and we do feel like family, and it has become such a movement that I cannot imagine not creating a space where people actually get to come together and meet each other in the flesh. You know, some of us have been together for a year, 2 years, 3 years. And even though, you know, the women who are just finding As She Rises now, you know, even like you just said, when I found this space, you're like, what is this space? Like, how is there an ecosystem of such love and trust and expansion and power and limitlessness? And so I knew that I needed to do that essence of community justice, and it was going to be an in-person event. Now, I did not realize, like you said, how big of a like eye plucking out experience a live event was going to be. I was like, this is going to be awesome. This is what I want. And it's going to be 2 days, and we're going to bring in speakers, and it's going to be beautiful, and we're going to dress up, and we're going to have a stage, and like there'll be a party, of course. But when I started working with Gina, my event planner, and telling her all this stuff, I did not realize the amount of work and blood, sweat, and tears that actually is a live event. So we have been planning this event for almost a year, which is crazy. We've been planning it since last November. So when it actually happens, it'll be almost a year. It has been such a learning curve, but such an expander. And I have never been so excited for something to come to life. And my little sister just got married and planning the wedding, and everyone was like, oh, you know, planning a wedding is so much work. I'm like, you have no fucking idea. Like you have no idea. I just planned 10 weddings. And then, you know, you've got ticket sales and everything on top of it. So it's going to be incredible. It's going to be incredible. When I put together the idea of the As She Rises event, I knew I wanted a business conference, but I wanted a business conference for the misfit entrepreneurs, the spiritual entrepreneurs, the weirdo entrepreneurs, the healers, the ones that don't fit into the business world. And when I came into business, I looked around and was like, I am not a tall, blonde, long hair, like typical, that side of the industry. And I'm also not a business guru. I'm like a hippie mom who also wants to make multi-millions of dollars. Where do I fit in? And so As She Rises business conference is for all of those people who feel like you don't fit into the other boxes. But I knew that I didn't want it to be a regular business conference because that's boring and nobody wants to sit through 2 days of brokering. So when I put together the speaker panel, I made sure that it was infused with things like iconic marketing, things like, feminine energetics, wealth through the language that your body speaks, the nervous system. And of course, then we have sales and marketing and all of that kind of stuff to build out a foundation of a business so that you can thrive, but it doesn't strip you of your identity and your uniqueness. So all of the speakers are coming into this space ready to blow your socks off with a multitude of different business trainings. But then what I also knew to be important about business was that community aspect, of course, that we've already talked about. So we've got the networking and being together for 2 days and different opportunities to get to know one another and be together, and every little detail down to the ribbons on the chairs has been like intricately detailed to cultivate that sense of community. And then the last thing is your ability to really see yourself in your power, in your expression, like not the identity that everyone told you should be, or that you've got this preconceived notion of what it means to be successful. But if you allowed yourself to come completely unbound, 100% self-expression, who are you as a soul entity, and you bring that online, like what much more is available for you. So we did the higher self embodiment night, where you actually get to dress up as your highest self, your most express self, your sexiest, most beautiful, most powerful, most electric, embodied self. And you come as this version of yourself. And we have like a tattoo artist, an award-winning tattoo artist coming in from San Diego. We have glitter and body paint. We have a somatic journeying DJ coming in to take us on a whole adventure of embodiment and signature mocktails. And of course, I don't want to give it all away, but that night is really for you. It's for you to feel your vision and your mission in every cell of your body and spend that time with like-minded people. So it is a weekend to remember. I cannot even wait. And the only question that you should be asking yourself is, what am I wearing? Not how do I get there? Not how do I get a ticket? Not who's going to watch my kids? None of that bullshit. You guys, I have 3 kids and I'm making this thing work. So don't even try and pull the parent card on me. We just make it work. We're so intelligent and then we play so unintelligent when it comes to making big moves. And it's because you're scared, and that's okay. But at some point, you know, to be successful, you have to go, in fact, I'm not scared and I am going to do whatever it takes. Yeah. And be there. And it's going to be incredible.
Oh, I can't wait. It's like, it's so meticulously planned, especially because I've seen some of the back end stuff. Like, it's like, oh, there's nothing better than arriving at an event, looking around and being like, oh, they thought about it. They fucking thought about it. Like, and I can tell, I'm like, I'm seeing the back end, some of that stuff. And I'm just like, oh, chef's kiss. This is well done. Like, I've been in the hospitality industry for a long fucking time. And when I walk into a restaurant or a hotel or an event, and I can tell instantly, I'm like, did somebody give a fuck about this? And this event, massive fucks was given. I'm so excited about it.
Like down to like the color of like shit that you'd be like, really? Does that matter? I'm like, yes, it matters. Like the color of the lanyard is 2 shades off. We need to get that. So, I mean, like, was it a little bit over the top? Maybe, but I also want an experience where any person who comes to that, like, there is no stone left unturned to make sure that you get the transformation that you deserve. And yes, colors matter, and sounds matter, and smells matter, and the attention to detail, it makes us feel a certain way, right? And I think that's just as important. So yes, you're going to come and learn from the best of the best, like multiple 8-figure earners in this industry who know what they're doing. And we're hand selected to not be, you know, the bro marketers or whatever you want to call it. Like, it's not that. It's new age marketing. Where are we going as an industry in the next 5 years? We are getting ahead of the curve with every speaker that we are bringing to this event. And then we created a full sensory experience for everyone who's coming to really anchor it in. Yeah.
Oh, I love that. It's so exciting. And really, I feel like in-person stuff is so incredible. Like, I do most of my work in person, you know, with clients. Like, we actually get to like see each other, and like being able to meet each other in person and then learn these things and like really anchor it in so that your marketing and all of the stuff you do going forward can like reflect that, because you can't actually feel that until you've experienced it. I have so many people who said, I learned marketing and then I watched you and your stories and then I met you and I was like, oh, she's the same person in real life as online. And I've met so many fucking people because I take a lot of people's photos and I look at their marketing and then they show up to take their pictures. And I'm like, oh, that's a face. And I'm like, bummer. Like,
boo.
Boo. But it's so like, it's fucking unreal when you get to meet people in person. And like, even the thought of like every person, I want to like message every single person who's going, even though it's not my event, and be like, listen, get your shit tidy before we go. Have your stuff ready, because you're going to meet people who are going to want to work with you. Like, are you ready? Where's your fucking business cards or your tappy tap or whatever, right? Like, oh, it's going to be so, so amazing. Like, the amount of people who slid into my DMs just last week about the event, they're like, oh, are you going to be there? And I'm like, I'm going to have like maybe a sign on my shirt, like, I'm taking photos right now. I will hug you between these times.
Like, do not disturb.
Right?
Do not disturb. You can just borrow one off the Hyatt door.
Like
we'll just
a little bodyguard, maybe.
You need to. Oh my goodness. I know. And there really is a power of in person. And it's partially because who you be when you walk into a room is different than who you are when you hide behind a screen. And I don't care who you are. That's for me too. I feel different when I'm hiding behind a screen than when I have to pull my shit together and walk into a room and hold my power. That's a whole different ball game. And so who you be when you walk into that room, you immerse yourself for 2 full days, you think that you won't be different in 2 days. When you leave, that's nonsense. It's impossible for you to not have a transformation in person. It's impossible. You're not hiding behind who you were. You are becoming who you are becoming. And it's incredible what happens. And that's exactly it. You don't realize your blind spots. For number one, you don't know your blind spots until you get into a room and you go, oh shit, she literally is exactly what I have been asking for this whole time. And you come into a room in your power, in your gifts, in your belief, and you're, creating that for yourself. You're going to be that missing link for other people too. You will be that missing link for other people too. And, my first live event, I went to many, many live events back in the day, and I spoke on stages and all of the things. But when I came into this industry, it was a completely different ballgame. This is like I've never experienced before. The first thing that I did is I bought a ticket to a women's entrepreneurial event. I packed up my 4-month-old baby who is exclusively breastfeeding. For those of you moms, like, you'll get this, 4 months old. That's like that. I haven't slept in 4 months. And I bought a plane ticket and I flew to a different country, and I was there for 3 days. And I went to that event saying, I don't know what I am meant to do, but I know that it's going to be big. And I know that I'm made for big things, and I can't wait for what's coming. I came home. I had 3 brand new clients that equaled $15,000 in cash that I met at that event, people that hired me at that event. From I don't know what I'm doing to I have a plan. I know how I'm going to do it. I have the belief in myself, and I'm going to do it for as long as it takes to have the results, right? So the belief was different. And return on investment, are you kidding? There's like, that's a pretty fucking rad return on investment, right? From having 0 business, goose egg sales, not knowing even what I was supposed to be doing, to generating $15,000 in cash before I even got home. And I had a plan and created a 6-figure business in that following year. So the power of live events, like, there shouldn't even be an excuse. If you're someone who is taking master classes and paying someone thousands of dollars online and wishing you could be in these 3333 programs and all this, but like, just stop. That's what we were doing 3 years ago. And if it was working, we'd all be fucking successful. You follow what I'm saying? I said what I said. So, we'd all be successful. So it's not working. So let's try something different. And this was truly the thing that catalyzed everything for me. Mm-hmm.
Oh, yes. I'm I'm so excited, and like everything you're saying, I'm like, I want to just like yell but not interrupt you. This is so freaking true. And all of like, I was thinking about this the other day. People are like, oh yeah, well, like, I don't really want to like spend money on certain things. And I was like, listen, bitch, you just spent like $4,000 on dance for your 8-year-old who is never going to be a prima ballerina. Like, can we please spend $500 on a ticket for yourself? Like, I'm sorry, like, no shade. My kid's in dance too. But I'm like, $60 for a bodysuit, and you won't get your ass here to meet all these fucking people who are going to change your life. Like, people are always like, oh, when is my time going to come? When is somebody going to drop out of the sky and say, this is your time? It's your time to shine. This is the thing. Like, this is the moment. This is the sign. Here, like,
and you know what? Your time will come when you put yourself back in the equation.
Yeah.
Everyone is saying, when is my big moment? When's the universe going to show up for me? When's my big break? Well, it's when you fucking decide that it is, for one, and then you put yourself back in the equation. So what are you doing to begin the process so that the universe or God or the stars or whatever it is that you're, waiting for to line up for you, they got something to work with. You sitting there wanting and wishing, there's nothing to work with, like the universe is looking down on you being like, seriously, like buy the ticket, do the thing so that I can start to shower you in abundance. But right now you're just asking. And it's entitled and it's greedy. So let's not do that. When I decide that I'm going to put myself back in the equation, then the universe has something to line up and conspire with.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And there's literally never a right time. Like I rebooted.
No, it's still not the right time. Do you know how many times in the like 6 months I'm like, oh, this is the worst timing, like whose idea was this? And then 6 minutes later I'm like, this is the best idea of my life, I'm on cloud 9, and then I'm crying again. And like that's part of it. That's part of being an entrepreneur. The timing is always shitty. The timing always sucks. There's no good timing. And when the things work, it makes it all worth it. When the money happens and you get to take your family on the trip of a freaking lifetime, that's the perfect timing. When you meet your soulmate client, that it just makes it all make sense, that's perfect timing. But you have to line up all the things where the timing isn't right and the money isn't there and the circumstances are not ideal. You have to do it so that those perfect moments in time have an opportunity to happen.
Oh, preach. Absolutely. I feel this. Well, I completely rebooted and changed my entire business and basically started again from scratch while I was in my first year on my own after getting divorced with 3 kids and my first year of sobriety. And I was like, fuck it, let's go.
That's a lot.
There's no worse time.
Yeah. And there's not. And, when you're moving through stuff like that, like, your story, it's not just the timing, it's the emotions and it's heartbreak and it's uncertainty and it's what's going to happen next. And it's all of the things, when your body is tired and your nervous system is jacked up and there's people who are coming at you sideways telling you that you're making big mistakes. And it's like, we have to hold our power in those moments, and you will not understand the power and the majesty of that for sometimes a year, 2 years, but you have to hold faith that it's the right thing. You betcha. Mm-hmm. And look at what you've created. Look what you create now. And it's like, I can't imagine my life being any other way. I can't imagine my life being any other way. It's a miracle.
It is. It really is. Like I almost cried yesterday. I was like, I had a huge, gigantic, ridiculous bouquet of sunflowers, like 100 sunflowers and like bags of fruit. And I like came in the door, my kids showed up with their dad for us to make pizza. And I was like, I had deja vu, but it wasn't deja vu because I'd done it before. It was deja vu because I wished it. And I was like, I cried. And they were like, are you okay? And I was like, oh yeah, I'm so good. But I was like, this is what I wanted. Like I get to be me. I get to do the things I always wanted to do. We are still a beautiful whole family. We're better than a whole family because we don't fucking fight all the time. And like, look at us. We were like running around, like neighbor kids were showing up and we're like making pizza and joking. And I still have my best friend. I just don't have to be married anymore. And like all of this shit, I like use the money that I made doing shit that I love to buy the things that my family needs. And I was like, flat out, I was like, it's deja vu, but because I wished it. And I never even would have had the audacity to wish those things if I hadn't gotten like hope for, or like excitement, or like when you're in survival mode, you can't hope. But if you like get to like come to something or meet with someone or like hug somebody who's done something you wish you could do, like, oh, it's just amazing. Cause like, there's going to be more, right? Like all the things I'm wishing for now, like now I trust myself that someday those things will happen too. And it's just, oh, now I'm going to cry again because it's such a big thing though.
It is. Oh, everything you said was absolute gold. I have goosebumps all over my body. Yes, yes, yes. And you know what? Like, if you're someone who is sitting here going, I resonate with Casey's story and I resonate with Steph's story, and yes, 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 there's going to be hundreds of other stories that are just like this, of people who have either walked through it just like we have, or are ready to take those first steps and are going, do you want to buddy up? Do you want to walk through this fire together? I'm scared. You scared? Fuck yeah. You want to do it? Let's go. Jump in the pool with your cocktail dress on. You know what I mean? Like, it's gonna be, don't get yourself kicked out of the Hyatt. I'm just kidding. I would love for anyone to jump into the pool in their cocktail dress. Please send me a snap of that because it's very funny. But it is, and it's like, I think one of the biggest things with entrepreneurship is seeing that your story is not, you're not alone in that. You are not the only one that is moving through that. And you do not have to do it alone. You get to do it with other people. And I think, you know, if you and I would have learned that a lot sooner, it would have saved us so much heartache and so much self-doubt and so much of all the shit. And it's not that we would have been, you know, further ahead just in success, but everything could have been a little bit easier. And so if you're listening to this episode today, really what we are wanting for each and every one of you, and I know that you'll agree with this, is just, we want to make it as ease-filled, as beautiful, as exciting, electrifying, and soft as we can for you. And we are the people that have gone first. And it's not that it was easy, but it was awesome, you know, and it really does, it gets to be that beautiful. It does get to be that good.
Oh, yeah. I can't wait. I'm planning out my speech right now, and it's going to be good. It's going to be really good. I'm very excited. Well, thank you so much for coming on today, and please let people know how they buy tickets and the details of like when it's happening.
Yeah, you betcha. Okay, so if you go to, I'm sure we'll just link it in the show notes. You can just click on the link. There's 3 different tiers of tickets. VIP is almost sold out. We've got lots of general admission. We've got a couple of the Goddess Experience tickets left, which includes a private dinner with me and some of the speakers on Friday night. Very intimate, like roundtable conversation. It's going to be amazing. So click the link in the show notes is where you can get your ticket, September 30th through October 1st, downtown Calgary. It's gonna be amazing. I cannot wait. So 2 full days, Saturday and Sunday. We've got speakers, networking opportunities, collaborative things all day, Saturday and Sunday. And then on Saturday night is that goddess embodiment party that we were talking about, where you get to come dressed as your highest self. The vendors are off the hook. It's going to be super, super amazing. And I promise any one of these speakers is worth thousands of dollars in value. Any one of these speakers is worth your ticket. That party that night is going to be worth your ticket, but then it's like a whole weekend. So do yourself that favor, get in the room. It is going to be truly amazing. If you have questions, I'm over on Instagram. I am Casey Villard, just like my name. That'll probably be in the show notes too. But don't be afraid to reach out, ask me your questions. Let me know that you listened to this episode. And when you get your ticket, make sure that you post it on Instagram and tag me so I can see you. I can see your face. I can get to know you before we get in that room together. So when I do see you, I get to give you a hug, and there's familiar faces. So yeah.
Oh, I'm so excited. And of course I will be there too. So you can hug me too. Okay. So thank you so much for being here. I'm so excited to see you. I can't wait for this event, and every single person who is listening, go fucking click the link. Let's do this. I can't wait to meet you in real life. Okay. Thank you so much. Have a beautiful day, and I will see you very, very soon.
Yes, will so soon. I'm looking forward to it. Bye.
Me too.
Hey, I'm Stephanie Rose, and I am the host of the West Rose Media podcast, Lessons from the Ashes. Make sure you follow me on Instagram and on Threads and on TikTok and all the places. My handle is at West Rose Media. Check out my website too. There are so many resources for people just like you, people who are climbing out of the ashes, ready to make a new life. I got you, babe. Make sure you follow along. Make sure you subscribe to the podcast. That way you never miss an episode and I can keep doing the magic. I can't wait to keep going. Let's get into it.